Hello all. So in this video we will be starting with the second unit of Environmental Science 1 AEC paper, Delhi University. Okay, and we have already completed the first unit. So here we are starting with the second unit, and with two video lectures I'll be covering this also. Unlike the first unit, the second unit is little vast and slightly complicated as you are having the cycles all to be studied here. So be focused. So ecosystem. Ecosystem is an abbreviation for the term ecological system. Okay. It is the structural and functional unit of the environment in which living organisms interact with one another, also the surrounding physical environment. The term ecosystem was first used by Sir Arthur George Tansley in 1935. Okay. And the characteristics of ecosystem are high species diversity. Not all the points that I'm giving you in the lecture, okay, because some won't be in the slides, that's why. So yeah, characteristics of ecosystem. First is high species diversity, a wide range of species, right? Like plants, animals, fungi, bacteria. In the ecosystem we can see all these. These diversity ensure the balance of ecosystem and its long-term survival. Then interdependence. Each organism plays a unique role in the ecosystem, and all living organisms are interdependent on one another and on abiotic factors for others, for their survival. Then energy flow. Sun is the ultimate source of energy, primary source of energy. This energy is then passed along the food chain from green plants, autotroph, that is green plants, to herbivores to carnivores. Then nutrient cycling. The cycling of nutrients such as carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus between living and non-living components in an ecosystem. Then succession. Ecosystems are constantly changing over time, with new species colonizing areas that were previously uninhabited and other dying out or being replaced by new species and all. Okay, so that's it. And we'll be covering all these parts. So biome, it is a small ecosystem within an ecosystem. Now we have covered this. So ecosystem, the term is coined first by Sir Arthur George Tansley in the year 1935. The term biocenosis is coined first by Sir Carl Mobius in 1877. The term microcosm is coined by Forbes in 1887. Then the term geobiocoinosis is coined by Sir Sukachev in 1944. So ecosystem, again, any unit that includes all the organisms, that is living organisms, biotic community in a given area interacting with the physical environment. Physical environment means non-living, that is abiotic. So when the interaction happens between the living and non-living, a flow of energy leads to clearly defined biotic structures and cycling of materials between living and non-living components is an ecosystem or ecological system. Okay. Next, structure of the components of ecosystem. So components are abiotic components, then biotic components. Okay, living and non-living. There is a relationship between the living and non-living components. The relationship between the biotic and abiotic components is called holocoinosis. So this is abiotic, not abiotic. It is abiotic, abiotic. Okay, correct it. Then abiotic components. So these are the non-living components. Two types of abiotic components are there. One is chemical and one is physical. Physical means energy, sunlight, water, soil, climate, raw materials, living in space, area, everything. And chemical components means the nutrients, proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, aluminium, copper, zinc, everything. Inorganic macronutrients, everything. Biotic components means the living part of the environment. So the populations of the living, that is the communities, are animal, plant, microbial, everything. The biotic community is distinguished into autotroph, heterotroph and saprotroph. Okay, so this is a grassland ecosystem. Here we can see decomposes. The decomposers break down the complex organic matter, and those are fed by the plants for the nutrients. The plants get nutrients from that, and plants are the producers. Green plants are the producers in an ecosystem, in a terrestrial ecosystem. If it is an aquatic ecosystem, we'll have algae there. So the producers are then what to say, fed by the herbivores, then herbivores by the carnivores. So autotroph means green plants, I mean the producers. It is a Greek term. Auto means self, trophos means feeder, the self feeder. They feed from themselves itself. Here autotrophs also means other terms are producers, converters, transuders. These are mainly photosynthetic plants, that is chlorophyll bearing. So they synthesize high energy complex organic compounds from inorganic raw materials with the help of sunlight, and the process is referred as photosynthesis. Autotroph form the basis of any biotic system. In terrestrial ecosystem, the autotroph are mainly the rooted plants. In aquatic system, floating plants like phytoplankton, water rooted plants like macrophytes, everything. Then heterotroph. Heteros means others, trophs means feeders. So the animals which feed on others. They are also called as consumers. Okay, and also phagotroph. These two are the other names for heterotroph. Phagotroph is because of the reason that phago means to ingest or swallow. Then we have herbivores. The consumers are divided into herbivores, carnivores, then top carnivores and everything. Herbivores mean the first order consumers or primary consumers. They feed directly on plants like cow, goat and everything. Grasshopper, rabbit, deer, everything. There is a terrestrial ecosystem, and in aquatic ecosystem we have protozoans and crustaceans as herbivores. Then come to carnivores. Carnivores are animals which feed or prey upon the other animals. Primary carnivores or second order consumers include the animals which feed on the herbivorous animals. Fox, frog, predatory birds, smaller fishes, snakes. In secondary carnivores or third order consumers, they include animals which feed on the primary carnivores. Wolf, peacock, owl. Then we have tertiary carnivores. There is a top consumers. Those won't be consumed by anyone else. Those are lion, tiger and all. Okay. So grass is rabbit consumes grass, and a fox eats rabbit, and the fox is consumed by wolf is consumed by a lion. That's how the chain goes. Okay, this we have already discussed. Tertiary carnivores are also known as quaternary consumers. Okay, they are the top carnivores. Then comes saprotroph. Saprotroph means decomposers. Okay, or we also call them as reducers, because they break down the organic compounds, complex organic compounds of the dead matter of plants and animals. Sapro is a Greek word which means rotten. Trophos means feeder. Decomposers do not ingest their food. They do not eat this dead matter. What they do is that they secrete digestive enzymes into the dead and decaying plant and animal remains to digest the organic materials. So the enzymes that they secrete act upon the complex organic compounds of the dead matter. Decomposers absorb a part of the decomposition products of their own nourishment. A part, okay, a portion only. The remaining substances are added as a mineral to the substratum, mineralization. Released minerals are reused as nutrients by the plants. Okay, just have a check on this picture. Just take a screenshot and have a check. Okay, I'm not explaining that it will make the video more lengthy. We are having more complex things to be explained. Okay. Next we have a food chain. So autotroph, then comes heterotroph. So autotroph, so only producers, and heterotroph we have herbivores, that is primary consumer, then primary carnivore, then secondary carnivore, then top carnivore, that is tertiary carnivore. So grass, rabbit, wolf, grass, rabbit, fox, wolf, tiger. Then functions of an ecosystem. Okay, and one more thing that I didn't say that time. So the decomposes, right? The bacteria, fungi, or invertebrate, that is earthworms, millipede, everything, all these are decomposers. They feed on the dead decomposed and the dead organic matter of plants and animals. Okay, they recycle the nutrients back into the soil, making them available for other organisms to use. Other organisms matlab plants. Okay, and they are also called as detrivores. Okay, decomposers, saprotrophs, are also called as detrivores or detritus feeders. And with herbivores, carnivores, there is another category of consumers named as omnivores. They feed both on plants and animals. Humans are an example, not the vegetarian humans, but yeah, some majority of the humans eat non and veg also, right? That's right. Then bear, crow, all comes under that. So next is the function of ecosystem. One is energy flow. That is the flow of movement of energy through a series of organisms. And it is a unidirectional. Not all these points, because everything is not in the slides. Okay, energy flow is unidirectional. It flows from the producers to the higher level. Producers to the top carnivores. Grass to the lion, not from lion to the grass. Okay. It is a critical process as it allows transfer of energy from one organism to another organism. There are laws of thermodynamics and all, but I'm not going with that now because we are not studying chemistry, we are studying EVS, that's why. So energy flow. Then we are having nutrient cycling. Okay, that is really important, and it's little tough for the students who are from non-science background. Okay. Then we are having ecological succession or ecosystem development. Then we are having homeostasis or feedback control mechanisms. So for the time being, I'm just making it more simple. 3 functions of the ecosystem. First is manufacturing starch, that is photosynthesis. Second is distribution of food to all consumers, that is food chain and food web and all will come under that. Then tertiary level is dead living systems are decomposed for cycling. So the functioning of ecosystem can be understood by the following terms. Energy and material flow, we discussed that. Food chains. Food chain means it denotes the sequence of transfer of a matter and energy in the form of food from organism to organism. We studied that. Plant, rabbit, fox, wolf, tiger, like that. That is a food chain. And when does it become a food web? When so many numerous food chains are interconnecting food chains in an ecological community. That is food web. That is complex structure that consists of a number of food chain. Okay. So this is the energy matter. We discussed it. Now unidirectional, so ultimate source of energy is sun, and it is in the form of heat and light that we capture it. Plants capture the sun with the help of sunlight, and through the process of photosynthesis, they make food which is consumed by the herbivores, and that goes like that. Then food chain, we discussed it, describes who eats who in the nature. So we are having 2 types of food chains. One is grazing food chain and another is detritus food chain. Here you saw what is detritus means earthworm, maggot and all. So grazing food chain means it is found both in terrestrial and aquatic system. The food chain starts from the living green plants, goes to grazing herbivores and on to carnivores. In aquatic system, the phytoplankton act as the primary producer, which are eaten by the zooplankton, then by fish, then by large fish and all. Okay. Then speaking of detritus food chain, it is dependent on dead organic matter. So in the grazing food chain, the energy source is solar energy. but in detritus it is the dead organic matter. Decomposers such as bacteria and fungi break down the dead matter and release nutrients back into the ecosystem. So these are the comparison of both. Okay, just go through it. Starts from the living green plants, that is producers occupying the first trophic level in grazing food chain, where in the detritus it is the detrivores, that is the dead organic matter which is depended on. In grazing food chain, a much less fraction of energy flows through this type of food, that we'll study in the coming pyramid of energy, that we'll be studying in this class, in this video lecture itself, in the coming topic. In detritus, a larger fraction of energy flows through this type of food chain. In grazing food chain, it binds to inorganic nutrients and directly dependent on the solar radiation's inflection. In detritus food chain, it releases the inorganic nutrients bound in organic matter. Death, decay, or inorganic nutrients in that organic matter. Energy for the food chain comes from organic waste, dead matter, termed as detritus. So this is a food web. It is not a food chain, it is a food web. Right? It is a food web and the food chain, both can be got from this. So this is a food web at the edge of an eastern deciduous forest. This food web is greatly simplified compared to what actually happens in nature. Okay, so we discussed what food web is. Food web will be having several food chains. It consists of many number of trophic levels. It increases the stability of an ecosystem. It improves the adaptability and competitiveness of organisms. The whole food web won't be disturbed if a disturbance occurs in a single trophic level. Higher trophic level members can feed upon several types of organisms in their lower trophic levels. Okay. And again, there are many like mutualism, commensalism, competition, predation, parasitism, amensalism, neutralism in this food web topic, but we are not going through all that. There is gross prime productivity and net prime productivity. I'll be briefing it. So the ecological efficiency is the ratio between the amount of energy acquired from the lower trophic levels and the amount of energy transferred from the higher trophic level. So the gross primary productivity, that is all the biomass generated by primary producers, is called gross primary productivity. All the biomass generated by primary producers. Then net primary productivity. It is what is left over at the primary producer has used the energy it needs for respiration. This is the portion that is available to be consumed by the primary consumers and passed up to the food chain. Okay. So coming to ecological pyramids. Ecological pyramids can be defined as a geographical representation or a diagrammatic representation of the food or energy relationship between the different trophic levels in the ecosystem. In other words, it is an ecological parameter like number of individuals or amount of biomass or amount of energy. Three pyramids are there. One is number, then biomass, then energy. So these three are present in various trophic levels. How much of these three, like how many number of rabbits are in this trophic level, or how much amount of biomass is in the trophic level of herbivores, or how much amount of energy is passed to the top carnivore. So these three parameters, okay, in the various trophic levels of a food chain, with producer forming the base and top carnivores at the top tip. So there are three pyramids. Now starting with the pyramid of number. It's not this, okay, this is a very simple definition for pyramid of numbers. So pyramid of numbers represents the relationship between the numbers of the primary producers and consumers at different trophic levels. Numbers of the primary producer and consumers at the different trophic levels. There are two types. One is upright and one is inverted. So the one you see now in the screen is the upright pyramid, and this is the inverted one. The third one is the spindle shaped. Okay, starting with the upright pyramid of number. Here the number of species decreases from the lower level to the higher level. Producers will be more, primary consumer will be less, again secondary consumer will be lesser than that, and the tertiary consumer will be lesser than that too. Okay. The number of producers is maximum and decreases through herbivores and carnivores. Then, so that is what in the here. And next is inverted pyramid. In an inverted pyramid, um, that is the pyramid of number may be inverted here. So it happens mainly when a parasite is included. So here in the inverted pyramid you can see parasites and hyperparasites included in the top nodes, right? So this is known as a parasitic parasitic food chain. So this is a parasitic food chain. A single large tree is the producer, and it supports a large number of fruits eating birds. The birds all in the herbivores eat fruits in the tree. Okay. At the third trophic level, hundreds of bird lice parasites each bird. Bird lice parasite. Bird lice means like this lice, na? Humans have lice in their head, right? Like that, the birds also have this lice in their body. So these lice parasitize each bird. The top trophic level is occupied by parasites such as bacteria and fungi which live on bird lice. Okay, I hope that is clarified. Then we are having the spindle shaped pyramid. Here you can see that there is one tree and there are many fruit eating birds dependent on that tree, and there will be one eagle or any vulture which eats the small birds. So that is a spindle shaped. So this is simply what I explained now. You can just note it or take a screenshot. Next is pyramid of biomass. Okay, so this represents the total standing crop biomass at each trophic level. It is expressed as gram, unit area, or kilo, calorie. Gram per unit area or kilo calorie per unit area. So there are two types of pyramid of biomass. One is upright and one is inverted. In the upright pyramid of biomass, the biomass of the producers is maximum. Here you can see the biomass of the producers is maximum, and it decreases at the higher levels. Most of the ecosystem on earth represents the upward pyramid of biomass. Then we have so I didn't get the picture of the inverted pyramid of biomass. So just imagine the triangle as an inverted triangle. So inverted pyramid of biomass can be seen in aquatic ecosystem. Okay, that's it. Then, so this is a pyramid of number. It's a representation for the pyramid of number. There are many grass. In a field you can find many grass, right? Much more grass. And there will be 10 or 20 mice. There is mouse there. And this mouse will be fed by the eagle. There will be one eagle for one field, like that. Next is pyramid of energy. So it represents the total amount of energy at each trophic level. Energy is expressed in terms of rates such as calorie by unit area by unit time, like that and all. Okay, so energy, that is it. Pyramid of energy is always upright. It can never be inverted. It is always upright. This is because when energy flows from a particular trophic level to the next trophic level, some energy is always lost as heat at each step. Okay, so you got that. Some energy is lost during the transfer from the plants to herbivores. Some energy is lost in the form of heat. Again, in each transfer it is lost in the form of heat. Say in the producers they have 10,000 energy, herbivores only get 3,000 of that, and the carnivores only get 300 of that. Almost 10% energy of the herbivores, that is 300. Then the tertiary carnivores only get 30 from that, 30 or 20 from that. That is how it is. So we are done with that. Next is ecological succession. So I'll take this in the next class, or no, I'll cover it now itself, because in next class we are having the cycles, biogeochemical cycles, which is really tough. So ecological succession. Okay, so the progressive replacement of one community by another till the development of a stable community in a particular area is called ecological succession. Two types of, two stages are there. One is pioneer and climax. So pioneer community is the first group of organisms to establish their community. Series are the various developmental stages of a community in the area. Okay, series, no? Several developmental stages. Okay. Next, there are two, successions. Primary and secondary. Primary succession, it's a gradual establishment. No? Primary type starts with the gradual establishment of a biotic community on a lifeless community. Area. If it is water, we say it as a hydrarch, and if it is dry, we say it as a xerarch. Okay. Next, we have secondary succession. So, in the secondary succession, it occurs in the habits that have been disturbed or destroyed, like abandoned farmland, burnt forest, or the areas that have been cleared for mining or logging. Okay. So that is a biotic community in an area where already other biotic community exist. I'm not going deep on that because you just need an idea on what this is. Not going deep on that. So if we are going deep, there is much more to study, and you will need to put apart more time for the AEC paper other than the core paper. That's why. Sorry. The stages of ecological succession. The first is nudation, developing a bare area without any life form. So it may be caused due to several factors like volcanic eruption, landslide, flood, erosion, earthquake, forest fire and all. Then invasion. It is the successful establishment of a species in a barren area. Okay. Through migration followed by establishment. Then we have competition. Okay, then we have competition. When number of individuals increases, competition between same and different species arises for food, water, livelihood and all. Then reaction. The above steps, all these steps will bring some or other change in the environment. So it will modify the environment. That is reaction. Then stabilization. So that is the climax. The stage at which the final or climax community becomes more or less stabilized for a longer time in that particular environment. Okay. That is the equilibrium is there. So this is primary succession. It occurs in the habitats that are devoid of any life, such as newly formed volcanic islands, newly exposed sea floor, sand dune, newly cooled lava sediments, newly submerged areas. The first life form to be there is they. So at first there is a colonization of habitat by pioneer species such as lichens and mosses. These species can survive in harsh conditions and can tolerate low nutrient levels. Okay. You can just note the names of the species. Okay, I'm not going to explain them. It will be more like the video will be lengthy, and also I don't think you have that importance of these in the syllabus as well. So with 100 years, a primary succession happens. Bare rocks, lichens, smaller annual plants, grasses, perennials, grasses, shrubs, shade intolerant trees, then shade tolerant trees. Then comes secondary succession. So secondary succession is where the habitats are disturbed or destroyed, abandoned farmland, burnt forest and everything. So this is how. So it's some like a recolonization of the habitat by pioneer species such as grass. Okay, somewhat it is like this. It takes around 150 plus years for that. Take a screenshot, okay, and just refer to yourself. So next we have the cycles, so that I'll take in the next class, and by next video lecture we'll cover the second unit. So thank you, have a nice day.